As you look at the raising the federal minimum wage to $15, first of all, that's going to raise millions of people out of the poverty level, and that will increase the economy. So that's good all the way across. But we have a couple of companies out there that are already paying $15 per individual per their employees, and that's Amazon, Costco. So those are winners because all the other retail companies that are not paying the $15 per hour will have to squeeze their margins or increase costs. So those are two plays right there that you didn't mention that will really benefit from this federal increase in the federal minimum wage. As it relates to what you indicated with CDW, about $350 is going, $350 billion is going towards the governments, and also another $170 billion going towards K through 12 and education. CDW provides computers and software for the public and education. And ultimately, this year alone, the government increased 6%, education increased 33%. So once again, and that basically, that company is going to do well in this regard. And lastly, Thermo Fisher, they have the gold standard in the PCR COVID testing, and there's going to be another about $50 billion going for testing. So that paints a really good picture for those companies.
And then Thermo, by the way, also, Diggis, you probably know, owns the freezers that go down to negative 80 degrees Celsius to store, and they're $20,000 and up each. I know because I mistakenly put my hand in one. Jamie Cox, you know, in 5, and I don't want to make it political, but in 5 days, the president will be leaving, but he's not the only one. Peter Navarro, you just pointed out, obviously uber hawk on trade, on China, pro-tariff, pro-trade war. He is also departing. Do you think this is going to open up not only, obviously, trade with China, because, by the way, the ports in California are at record volumes already, but investable opportunities?
Oh, absolutely, Brian. I mean, if you look at the world economy as it sits right now, the emerging markets, which include China, are really accelerating out of the pandemic faster because they went into it first. So China had this first in, first out recovery. So you're going to see, in my view, a lot of the Asian economies probably continue to outperform both the Eurozone and the United States, both in 2021 and maybe even into the future. There are a couple of places where, you know, the emerging economies are ahead of us, and one of them is digital payments. So you have some of the largest companies in the world doing digital payments. And if you listen to some of the things that Jamie Dimon said at JP Morgan in earnings call today, they're talking about these fast moving, you know, competitors that are changing the landscape of finance. And they're coming from Asia. They're not necessarily coming from the U.S. So in my view, that's probably where we're going to see a lot of that.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.